Alrighty, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to the stream. Jasper is going bonkers right now. He is running all over the house full of energy. He's bouncing off the walls in the hallway right now. You probably hear him. Did you hear that? I think what it is he, whenever I leave the window open in the bedroom and he hears like birds and stuff chirping, he gets into what's they call it, I guess they call it the zoomies, is what cat aficionados call this. He gets full of energy and just starts like running through the house like crazy, jumping off the walls and doing silly stuff. He even like makes some noises with his mouth and stuff. It's pretty funny. So he is going crazy right now. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the streams. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Excuse me. And I hope that you're ready for a fun week of streaming, Monday through Friday. I know it's kind of weird. I usually don't put in a standard office work week here on the streams, but it looks like that's what my week's going to be this week. Full-time streaming today through Friday, and then Saturday will be my next day off from streaming. Again, I wish I had a consistent schedule. I wish that I could promise you guys that I would be here certain days. I can't do that right now because my wife's work schedule is very odd. And we're waiting to hear back about her work schedule next week. Once I know what it is, I'll let you know, and then I'll let you know what the next day off is after Saturday. Okay? But, some good stuff coming up this week for sure. Mostly this week, our major focus is as follows. Get as far as I can in the current games that I'm playing, including Divinity 2, Danganronpa V3, and trying to finish Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, which it looks like we probably are going to finish within 1 to 2 more sessions here because we're at the end of the game, basically. Okay? That's kind of the focus. Now, the late night streams are likely going to be a balance between Call of Duty and Genshin Impact because, yes, Genshin Impact is returning tonight for a late night chill stream where we're basically just going to kind of hang out and talk a lot while doing some in-game stuff. That's really what the purpose of the Genshin Impact streams are. You guys have been asking me to bring back Genshin, so I'm bringing it back tonight. Okay? And then we'll see what else happens this week. Like, I'm not really 100% considering what I'm doing every week night here with Genshin. Excuse me, with Call of Duty and Genshin. Maybe what we'll do is just alternate. Maybe we'll do Genshin, Call of Duty, and then Friday will be Street Fighter. Probably what I'll end up doing. Again, it's weird. I know the schedule's weird. Having a full Monday through Friday with no day off in it it's throwing me for a loop. Usually I wouldn't do that, right? Anyway. That's kind of the deal. That's our focus this week. And then, we'll see what happens with the schedule after that. Reminder, next week, okay, we have new releases. Finally, next week, we have multiple new releases. We've got MLB The Show coming out, I believe, that Tuesday. And then I think later on in the week, we've got Nier Replicant. And then the week after that, we've got Returnal. And then the very end of the month, we got Pokemon Snap. So we're pretty much about to head into the second half of the month, and that's when it picks up. And then there's new releases constantly because May's going to have new releases the whole month. June's going to have new releases the whole month. So finally, for those of you who've been saying, damn, Phil, it seems like you're kind of playing the same games for a long time, you're right. But, but definitely things are going well in regards to being able to maintain a schedule, progress in those games, and getting as far as I can before the new releases hit. The new releases will always take priority over things like a viewer's choice playthrough or a background playthrough. Like I've told you guys, Call of Duty, I'm really enjoying Black Ops Cold War with the variety of gameplay we're doing in that game, especially unlocking new guns and stuff. But you guys are basically telling me, nah, it's not as entertaining to watch all the time, so maybe I'll scale back the Black Ops stuff. We'll be focusing more on the new release stuff coming up. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. But that's kind of the plan for this week. Just rough schedule. Today, Divinity 2 on the first stream. Looks like we're finally leaving Fort Joy. Late stream is Genshin Impact. Tomorrow, Danganronpa V3 continues. We're into the second murder investigation. It should be really good. This is the good part of the game where it gets interesting, investigating the murder. And then tomorrow night, Call of Duty. Wednesday, continuation of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Hopefully to get really far, maybe even beat it. Wednesday night, Genshin. Thursday, more Divinity 2, and Thursday night, more Call of Duty, and then Friday, dependent on how things went with Ghosts and Goblins, likely I'll play Ghosts and Goblins again and try to beat it. Okay, and then Friday night was Street Fighter. That's the rough schedule right now. It could change on the fly, but that's the rough schedule for right now. Okay, guys? Fair enough? Why is everyone spamming chat commands? You guys realize there's a cooldown on chat commands, right? Like, people are spamming chat commands wondering why the chat commands aren't working. It's because there's a cooldown on them, and if you guys constantly type them, the commands aren't going to work. See? I just typed it, and it worked. You have to relax. You can't just keep spamming the chat commands and expect that they're going to keep popping up every 5 seconds. Okay. So that's the deal with the streams this week. Also, a reminder, we have a sub goal for the month of April, 900 subscriptions. If we hit that sub goal at any point during the month of April, it will be a retro replay throwback marathon event. Number one, you guys are going to pick a game that I played in 2015 or earlier to do a second run with modern setup, modern streaming interactions, etc. Okay, that's number one. Number two, whatever game wins, we're going to have a special marathon event where I play it for 6 to 7 hours in the first setting to get a giant chunk into the game and have a good head start. And then, during that event, will also be a special DSP Tries It, where I'm going to try a can of Chef Boyardee, which has become a running meme here on the streams in the last couple of weeks, okay? So that's the deal. It's a good event. People have said, why am I not doing incremental sub goals this month? It's very simple, because people keep saying that it feels like I keep moving the goalpost. If you hit one sub goal, then there's another one, then there's another one. So I said, let's just do one big one this month. And that's what we're doing. This is directly based off your feedback. If this doesn't work in April, then we could go back to the incremental ones that I used to do, I guess. But you guys are telling me you didn't like those. Okay? So please consider subscribing. You get many benefits to being a sub, including getting access to over 40 emotes. You don't have to watch advertisements when I take an ad break. And, of course, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. Fair enough? Awesome. Also, today, guys, if you cheer, sub, or tip, I'll give you a shout-out. Contributions are greatly appreciated. A stream like today that's Divinity 2, heavily focused on slow RPG progress. These streams tend to be very open to interactions and discussion. We can kind of put the game down for a few minutes to have a talk about anything if you'd like to. It's not an action-based stream, much like Call of Duty or something like that would be. I have the ability to interact a lot more today, okay? Now, if you are going to contribute today, thank you in advance. I am an independent content creator, and it's your crowdfunding that allows me to keep doing what I do for a living, because I don't have sponsors. I don't get paid just to turn on a stream here on Twitch like other big streamers do. Instead, I rely on your support every day to make ends meet. In particular, right now, tipping would be the best way to go if you want to help me. Until I get paid by Twitch later this week, I'm reliant on tips to pay all my bills, and I actually have 2 big bills coming due either today or tomorrow, whenever they decide to clear, and you would help with that if you tip me. All right? So, thanks in advance to anyone considering contributing in any way. Cheering, subbing, and tipping is all great, but tipping would help me a little bit more right now than anything else. Fair enough. Thank you. Tips goals. If we raise $50 in tips today, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. $100, I'll put on a vest. That's the tips goals, the $100. And all the vests are eligible today, including the beige, the denim, the red, the platinum, and the camo. So I'll reset it since it's a new streaming week. We'll just reset all the goals for those. Okay? Outside of that, if you're going to tip me, please verify your PayPal account. By verifying your PayPal account with your real-life information, it means you're real and you're not trying to commit fraud. And it allows me to trust your tip. Saved me a ton of time and effort with issues that I had with tips over the last several months. Please make a verified PayPal account. Don't worry, you don't get doxxed if you make one. That's a bunch of baloney. In addition to that, you may want to use, if you're a regular here on the streams and you're going to tip me, you may want to use a code word. Some people have been doing this recently in the last 2 months. If they tip me, they'll put a code word into their tip so I know it's really them and it's not someone trying to impersonate them or whatever. Then I can immediately count your tip, add it to the running total, and we can hit the ground running and don't have to interrupt the fluidity of the streams to verify tips and stuff. Fair enough? I'm just trying to get through this as quickly as possible, guys, if you haven't noticed. I have a few things to talk about on the pre-stream today that, you know, I just want to vent a little bit. It's the beginning of the week. It's going to be old man yelling at clouds, basically. So first off, now that we're past all the intro shit, a couple things. I am very much dreading later this week, because later this week, here in the state of Washington, in the United States, the vaccines for COVID are going to be available for all adults. It's supposed to be starting on the 15th, so 3 days from now, Thursday. I can already tell you guys this is going to be an incredible shit show. I looked into it basically over the weekend to try to figure out how are we going to be able to get this vaccine. and it's not looking good. Okay? So first of all, what I did is I said, where can we go to get it? And there's actually a few resources out there on the internet to search for places you can go. There's a place really close. It's actually our local medical center / hospital. It's like right down the street from us. The problem is they're already backlogged with people who've been trying to get the vaccine who are qualifying before it goes kind of to open to all adults on Thursday. It even says right on the website, if you try to call, you could be waiting hours to talk to anyone to schedule your appointment. And they're basically saying, unless you have health insurance that you've been to that hospital before and you're in their system, you can't even make an appointment online. You have to call in and sit on the phone to make an appointment. Well, I've not been there for anything, so I'm not in their system, and neither is my wife. So because of that, we would have to sit on a phone on hold hours and hours and hours to try to make an appointment starting this Thursday. Now, obviously, I can't do that. Maybe my wife could, you know, after she gets home from work one day, sitting on an open phone all day long, trying to make appointments, and who knows how long we'll have to wait to even get those appointments. Now, there are other places around here that are doing it, but none of them are doing online registration. Like, literally, they say you have to call. It's first come, first serve. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is 2021, and there's no, like, online system to do this. It's all, what you do online is it tells you where you can go. Like, there's a local church that's doing vaccinations. And then, of course, if we go all the way to Seattle, which is about an hour drive away, there's a bunch of what they call mass vaccination sites that you can go. Like, you know, even the stadiums, some of the stadiums have been made into mass vaccination sites. But it just sucks. Like, there's actually a mass vaccination site near us that used to be a event center for concerts and sports. But, of course, there's no concerts and sports right now because of COVID. So I looked into it. No, they're backlogged for like 2 months. When this goes public on Thursday and all the adults can get the vaccine, they're not even accepting any new appointments because they're already backlogged for the people who are supposed to get their second doses. They're not even done yet. So this is what I mean. Like, this seems like our country is rushing forward with vaccinations because we're so afraid that the COVID outbreak is going to get worse. The pandemic, we're going to have these waves, big waves, like vaccinate. You can't. Logistically, we're not, here in our state, we didn't even finish with the last wave. There's people who have weeks to months to wait to get their second vaccine, and now all of a sudden, somehow we're supposed to magically get our vaccine on Thursday when people who've been waiting since January to get their second dose don't have it yet. You see, this is like a huge mess, and it's causing a lot of stress because obviously we want the vaccine. We want to get vaccinated as soon as possible. My wife works with people every single day and has interactions. She's at high risk. But we're basically just being told everything is backlogged. Even people at her job who already got their first dose because they were in one of the categories that could get it early said they haven't gotten their second dose. They can't. They're trying, and they're being told to wait 2 months, which means it doesn't make sense. You're supposed to get the 2 doses within 1 month. So the whole thing's a mess. And it's stressful, you know? It seems like we may have to sit and wait. Because what are you going to do? Sit on the phone for 7 hours on hold before someone finally picks up just to tell you, oh, we have no appointments for 4 months. You know? So, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. So, already I'm kind of stressed out in regards to that. That's one thing going on behind the scenes right now. And I just dread on Thursday we're not going to be able to get a vaccine appointment, you know? And you know what we can do about it. Other states are way ahead of us. Every day, you guys, people come to my stream and tell me, guess what, Phil? I just got my vaccine, my first dose. I'm like, you guys are light years ahead of us here in Washington State. We are lagging behind the entire country with delivery of these vaccines. It's pathetic. So, in addition to that, all right, of course, there's other stressful things going on behind the scenes, too. Before I get to that, let me tell you about yesterday, which was my day off when I celebrated my wedding anniversary with my wife. It was a good day. We went out. It was actually quite cool, even though the sun was out all day. We had a good time. It was very busy, and here's the thing, guys. Like, for the past 2 years, if you haven't noticed, my day off from streaming has always been like a Tuesday or a weekday. And that's intentional. We always wanted to have our day off to be a weekday because when it's a weekday, it's much less people out there. You know, it's not super busy. The traffic's lighter. You're going to go do stuff. Stores are relatively empty. Restaurants are relatively empty. And especially with the COVID pandemic in the last year, it's been a godsend that our day off has been a day when there's not a lot of people out there, right? It's reduced risk. Well, because our day off is Sunday, we go out there. Oh my God. It was nuts. It was essentially like insane amount of people out there. Just ridiculous. And I really feel people just don't care about the pandemic anymore, just being honest. With the amount of people we saw out there, there were lines outside of like fast food businesses. I'm not kidding. Lines. And we're, what? It's because they all still have reduced capacity here. And people are waiting for their capacity to die out so they can go inside and get fucking Thai food and Mexican food. It's like, what is going on? I mean, I understand it's a Sunday, but we're still have a pandemic. It's not done. But they act like it is. They seriously act like it's over. Pretty crazy. So anyway, you know, we did what we did, what we could. We did have a fun day out. I know everyone's dying to know what we did for our anniversary. Well, there's a buffet place near us that we've wanted to go to for a while. It's an expensive buffet place, admittedly. Usually when we eat out, we don't spend a lot of money. But we wanted to splurge a little bit because it was a celebration of our second wedding anniversary. We didn't even get to celebrate our wedding anniversary last year. And so there's a very high-end buffet place near us that's pretty pricey. And we went there and got some good food. Primarily there, they kind of focus in on shellfish. So crab in particular, they have a lot of crab. But other stuff too. Kat in particular really liked, there was a few things she liked actually. She basically liked all the Asian style food that they have. She likes Asian food a lot. So she was like, wow, you know, there's fresh crab wontons, fresh gyoza, fresh black pepper chicken, and stuff like that. And she was chowing down on that, and I was eating the baked crab. I was like, dude, this baked crab is outstanding. I almost never eat crab. Almost never. It's too expensive. But being that we were at a buffet that had it, oh my God, the baked crab was absolutely insanely good. No, it was not Old Country Buffet. Old Country Buffet is like a 2 out of 10. This place was like an 8 or 9 out of 10 when it comes to like quality. They just they had crazy stuff that I didn't want to get. Like they have fresh ribs, fresh roast beef, all that kind of stuff, fresh made, cut to order. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because I'm already eating shellfish. I don't want to eat red meat too. My feet will explode because of my acid in my blood condition. It's also called gout for those who like to make fun of me and bring it up. So I was like, there's no way I could go crazy here and eat everything, you know, unbridled. I won't be able to walk this week. Okay? And also, the desserts were outstanding. The desserts were quite good. They had a bunch of different kinds of mousse, and I had some chocolate mousse, and they were so cool. So they had a spoon in the mousse made of liquid chocolate. What it is they take that melted chocolate and they form it into a spoon. So it looks like it's solid, but when you touch it, it immediately starts melting. It's kind of like, okay, you know when you go to get ice cream, like a soft serve ice cream cone, and sometimes they do the dip, you do chocolate dip, butterscotch dip, strawberry dip. That's what it is, that liquid coating they put on it. So they just did that and formed a spoon out of it. And it was like, oh my God, melt in your mouth chocolate. It was crazy good. So the good news is, we had a lot of fun. We had a good meal. By the way, we did other stuff too. I'm not going to tell you every little thing we did. But I know people will be bugging me all week long if I don't mention a little stuff that we did yesterday. That was one of the things we did. And by the way, yes, we hand sanitized. Yes, we had the mask on the whole time, except for when we were sitting down eating at the table, and the mask went right back on. We did all the things necessary to try to make sure that, you know, we didn't get sick. Everything we need to do. And now it's back to business as usual. Okay? Fair enough? No, we didn't go to Sizzler. In fact, in the last year, we do have a local Sizzler. They went out of business. For those who don't know, Sizzler is a place where it's kind of like you can order not custom food. You can order food like fresh cooked, but most people don't do that. They go there for like the open salad bar, but because of COVID, they couldn't do an open salad bar. They went out of business. Yeah, the Sizzler went out of business with COVID. So anyway, just a little bit about what we did yesterday. It was a really good day. Admittedly, it was a really good day yesterday. We enjoyed the day off. Now it's back to kind of business as usual with me at least streaming many days in a row. I'm not going to be taking 2 back-to-back days like I just did. I had Wednesday and then Sunday. That's not going to happen again for a long while if we can help it. It's going to be more, you know, being here to stream and everything. Okay? That's right. Super Slate says, rest in peace, all you can eat shrimp. All that stuff. Open salad bars, open shrimp. It's all gone. Seriously. That shit is done. It's not happening anymore. They can't. With the COVID, it's too much of a risk. Okay. No, people would be absolutely ridiculous. Okay. All right, ladies and gents. Let us continue. So that's what we did yesterday. Excuse me. Outside of that, I'm just trying to think. The only other quick thing that I want to rant about one more time, and I swear I won't take a lot of your time. I need to get this off my chest. I hate taxes. I hate how they work. I hate that they're so complicated in the United States. I hate that if you own your own business, that taxes are ridiculously expensive. Since I got married to Kat, taxes got even more complicated for no fucking reason. It's just a giant joke. It really is. Income taxes in the United States are a giant fucking joke. And I tried to go by all the guidelines and everything that I was told, pay this, pay that, and I've been doing it, and I've been struggling a lot because of it, admittedly, because I'm paying my taxes every month now. You know, things are tight every month for me. And it sucks because, as you guys know, I had to pay a bunch of money to my tax guy to get him to even prepare my taxes. And it's just very frustrating. Let's just put it that way. The tax thing will always be an ongoing thing at this point. It's going to be like another month of stress for me behind the scenes with these fucking taxes. Because I know, here's the thing. Even though I paid everything that I was supposed to pay estimated, I guarantee you I still owe money. It looks like I do. Of course, where's that money going to come from? The sky? No. It's not going to come from anywhere. I don't have it. So likely, if I owe more money that I didn't pay over the last year, because this is the way it works. When you have your own business, it's different than just being an individual who works a job. If you work the job, what happens is every week or every paycheck, taxes get taken out of your paycheck. Then you go file your taxes and they say, oh, you probably have a refund coming, and you get a tax refund. It's a good positive thing, right? When you own your own business, it's completely the opposite. They expect you to somehow know how much you're going to make when you don't know. I don't know how much money I'm going to make on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I have no clue. Every month it's completely different, actually. It fluctuates. Some months are way up. Some months are way down. It depends on the games I'm playing. It depends on the generosity of my viewers because I run a business where it's crowdfunding, right? So there may be one month where everyone's being very generous and another month where you can't be as generous, and I don't control that. I'm always putting out the same kind of streams and the same kind of content. The government doesn't care. The government just wants you to know exactly what you're going to make and pay taxes based on that. And if you're off even a little bit, oh, fees, penalties. So I paid everything I was supposed to pay in the last year, and now I'm being told I probably owe more. Great. Oh, by the way, that should be due by mid-May. You better just magically make this money out of the sky. What are you talking about? That's not how fucking life works. I don't just, because the estimate was slightly off, now I need to magically come up with all this money. I don't have it. So now, can I roll that into my existing back taxes plan? I hope so. But I'm being told, well, that may default you on your current back taxes plan. So now we have to rework with the IRS to reestablish a back taxes plan, which then results in my tax guy billing me a bunch of money to do it. It just never ends. It's like, I pay my tax guy to do my taxes just to be told I owe more taxes. So then, okay, can we get that a tax plan? Yes, but to do the tax plan, now my tax guy has to work with the IRS, so I owe my tax guy more money. Okay, so I pay my tax guy all that money, and then I get told, you owe more money. It's like, it never ends. It's an endless cycle of you owe money. No matter how much you pay or what you do, you didn't pay enough. That's been my experience. Even this last year, now I'm able to pay my fucking federal taxes as I'm told I should every month, and I'm still told it wasn't enough. You should have done more. It's like, what? How am I supposed to magically fucking know all this? And then in addition to all of that, it's even more stressful because of the way that you file. When you're married, there's different ways to file your taxes. Some will benefit you one way, some benefit you another way. And it's a pain in the ass. And I got, just basically right now, there's a lot of stress behind the scenes of everything on the streams. I got the COVID vaccine thing on my mind that I have no idea how we're going to get. This tax thing is currently going on. This is frustrating the shit out of me. Everything's frustrating. All right? So what I'd like to do is use these streams as a place to chill and escape from all this baloney, right? All this baloney going on. I'm sure that all of you also personally have stuff going on in your own lives that stresses you out, right? So that's what we're going to use these streams as, a way to escape from all the baloney and sit down and relax and have a good chill time, hopefully. Okay? Fair enough? All right. I have one quick story to tell you. Well, not really story. It's a news story that I'd like to at least cover. A follow-up to one that I talked about last week. And then we got to get to shout-outs. There's quite a lot of shout-outs to do this morning for your contributions. Okay? Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. Whew. Excuse me. All right. So here's the deal. Days Gone. A game that came out a couple years ago. It was heavily, heavily hyped by Sony. Ben Studios, a Sony-owned studio, made it. Came out. Flopped. All right? Why did it flop? Well, my take on it is because the start of the game was incredibly slow-paced. The first 10 hours of Days Gone are a grinding bore fest. It introduces some gameplay mechanics that are repetitive and kind of crappy. You don't have any good abilities or things unlocked yet, so it's just kind of shitty. Once you get past the first 10 hours of Days Gone, the game gets good. The plot picks up, new gameplay mechanics unlock, and the game actually gets much better. And I'd say that probably after you get past that first quarter of the game's insanely good. I enjoyed the rest of the game till the end. Fighting the hordes and stuff near the end of the game with the abilities you have is really fun. Okay? And the story was quite good as well. It's just that most people never got past the first 10 hours because it's one of the worst starts in gaming history, I feel. It really is a slog to get through the first 10 hours. So how many people got past it? Almost none. A lot of people played it for a few hours, got bored, and never went back to it. Well, the game is available on PS Plus for free this month, I think it is. So a lot of people are playing it for the first time and kind of seeing that the game actually is quite good. And the news story just hit a couple days ago that Ben Studios was reassigned as a collaboration effort to work on games for Naughty Dog and other things rather than work on a sequel to Days Gone 2. In fact, Days Gone 2 was pitched to Sony, and because Days Gone 1, number 1 was kind of critically panned and number 2 didn't sell as well as they'd hoped, there's no Days Gone 2. It's not being developed. Okay? So, kind of sucks, right? It does. It kind of sucks that this is the situation. And, you know, I liked Days Gone, and I wish there was a sequel where they had a chance to fix the issues from the first game, fix the pacing, and I feel the sequel would be better. But it ain't going to happen, at least per the reports that we're getting now. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because a story hit over the course of my day off yesterday where the former head of Ben Studios, I guess he doesn't work for them anymore, was interviewed and basically said he's under a non-disclosure agreement, so he can't confirm or deny if Days Gone 2 is really being made or not. And why would he have quit if it was? Think about this. Why would he not be with the company anymore if Days Gone 2 was being made? Let's be honest here, right? But he basically says some of the ideas that we had for the game would have been great. It would have been like a shared universe game where you and other people can play co-op. And it would be like drop in, drop out co-op where you can have like a base camp where if you join this game, it's a shared universe. So if one person makes progress, I guess it carries over to the other people as well. And so imagine doing teamwork to beat giant hordes and stuff together. Like basically what he's describing is good. Like this sounds interesting. Now, they tried to do something like this with State of Decay 2 and failed absolutely miserably. It's terrible, basically. It was not good at all. It was a huge failure, a flop of a game, compared to what the potential was for that. So to actually have a AAA style game like this, that could have drop in, drop out co-op, building up a camp of a bunch of survivors, having them go out and do their own individual missions, and then maybe teaming up for co-op missions in a zombie survival setting, maybe have certain story missions where you could do them together, sounds really good. Like, that actually sounds unique and interesting, and it's just not going to happen because the game isn't in development, you know? All I can say is this. I'm actually sad because Days Gone was a game that a lot of people didn't give a chance. I gave it a chance and ended up really enjoying the game after that intro segment. All I can say is game developers have to be aware of what they're doing and understand that even though you may think a good way to push a narrative is to make the game slow at the beginning, a game has to be fun for gamers. You understand? And I've been saying this recently, okay? Games, for a lot of people, are an escape from reality. I think game developers need to understand this more and more. When you sit down to play a video game, there's people who sit down to play them for different reasons. Yes, there are some people who are looking for just a story. And as long as the story is entertaining to them, they don't care about what the gameplay loop is. There's some people that sit down just for the gameplay loop. They want to get addicted to fun gameplay that they feel that as the game progresses, it's more challenging or whatever. And that's how they get their enjoyment. Some people look for a combination of the two. Some people are overall just looking for an artistic vision. Okay? Some people are looking for crippling difficulty. Like there's people who play games just because they're ultra challenging. So everyone's looking for something different. But if you're going to try to make a game, a AAA game that's supposed to appeal to the masses, you have to make a game that has good pacing and grips you from the start. Like comparing, for example, The Last of Us Part 1 to Days Gone. The Last of Us Part 1 starts off with a flashback to how this crazy infestation started on the Earth and how it happened that day one when it all broke. There was an outbreak, right? And then it flashes forward to the present, where now you see the whole world is under this kind of military rule, like you know, little militias thing running everything, and how there's, you know, it's really interesting to see this dynamic, and the gameplay elements from the start are quite interesting, the way that they did that, okay? With Days Gone, yes, you do get a flashback, but then the entire game for 10 hours, all you're doing is repetitively open world, going around to these fucking nests of zombies and killing them. Like, that's the gameplay for 10 fucking hours. There's nothing else to it. It's not until you get to like the next 10 hours that you start doing completely different kinds of missions. You interact with different survivors in a different camp, and then the game gets more interesting. So just based on that pacing, okay, that pacing alone, Days Gone is a failure. And how they didn't talk to anyone to understand that this pacing wouldn't work, I have no idea. You're supposed to be a AAA game that was supposed to be a major seller for Sony, and no one like had creative direction over this and say, okay, maybe we need to pick it up a little bit and have some interesting stuff. Even if, there, for example, even if there was a preview of a big horde or something in the early game, and even if maybe there was like a chance that you survive it, that would have been more interesting than the way that they did it with the slow build. Slow build works, but not for impatient mainstream gamers who are looking for instant gratification. You know, Last of Us 1, eventually the gameplay gets better over the course of the game as you craft different things and do different things. But the beginning of the game is like great action-packed, good narrative, everything. Days Gone is the opposite. They really didn't go that route. And frustrating, just very frustrating that that's what happened with the game. So game developers have to understand it's all about pacing and hooking the gamer within the first few hours of the game. And if you don't do that, you know, you're not going to sell. And that's exactly what happened with Days Gone. It's a shame. It's a depressing story for me because I really like the game. And now it looks like that's it. The franchise is completely dead after only one outing because of the way that they did that. Sucks, right? All right. Anyway, guys, that's that. Let's get the shout-outs. Looks like I have a ton of shout-outs to do today. Thank you for your support. Let's... Oh, my God. I'm trying to click here. Okay. So, overnight, I received a series of tips from Jim Raynor. If you remember, the other day, Jim Raynor said he was going to dump a few tips overnight to help us out today with Divinity 2. So I'm going to read through all his tips, and we're going to see exactly what he's recommending we do. I don't know if we're going to absolutely follow his word and do all this today or not, because admittedly, a lot of people are just want me off of Fort Joy and into the next part of the game. But it sounds like Jim wants me to hang back and do different stuff at Fort Joy that we missed, which is ridiculous. We've been there for fucking 30 hours, right? But we're going to see what he has to say here, okay? First of all, CJ Euphoria resubscribed for 53 months on my day off. Thank you, CJ Euphoria. And Devin709 also subscribed to the channel. Thank you, guys. All right, now. Here we go. Jim Raynor. I'm going to just basically read off everything he had to say. So first he says, Please try to remember these tips he's going to share with me. He says basically he's not going to be tipping per Divinity stream anymore, but he says that every time that I complete a chapter, he may give me a tip to celebrate me passing into a new chapter of the game or something like that. Okay? And he says, all right, first of all, I should use Bless on Fane because Fane has been cursed for a while and I never healed him. Okay? He says go back to the cursed chest in B-Rex's tower and use Bless on it. You'll get a piece of armor set that's the most powerful armor in the game. Okay? The problem is, to do that, I gotta go through a fucking maze, because you only get teleported to the tower once, I think. And once you get teleported to the tower after that, it doesn't work anymore. So I get the feeling I have to go through a crazy-ass maze to get back to the fucking tower. Who wants to see me do that? So I guess I'll talk to you guys today when I boot up the game, right? And we'll see, do you guys want me to go back to this tower? Because he also says, in the northwest corner of the tower... there's a sewer you can go to that has other shit that I missed. Okay? So basically, get back to the tower, and there's 2 interesting things I can do there, but I have to go through a maze to get to it. Okay, then he says, make sure to start storing armor sets in a backpack when I'm not using them. Put the Mask of the Shapeshifter on Fane and turn him into an elf. Any body part you eat, and I already have some in my inventory, can grant him a free skill. Keep the mask on him forever. Okay? Then he says, Fane gets blood sacrifice as well. It's very OP. Make up for its shortcoming by giving him a wand and shield. Do that for Los 2. Survivability means no missed experience. After you leave the tower, go into the labyrinth where the skeleton on fire is at. The labyrinth where the skeleton on fire is at. Wait. Where is that? A skeleton on fire? A guy who's infinitely on fire sounds familiar, but I don't remember where that is. Where was that? I don't remember. It's the maze? What maze? I don't know where there's a... I don't remember any maze. So anyway, he says, go to where the skeleton on fire is and teleport him into a pool of blood. Then cast Bless on him. It cures him. You use blood sacrifice to make a pool of blood. You'll fight some undead to give you experience. After that, go to High Judge Orovon's study. Fort Joy Castle, 2nd level. I remember where that is. Okay. He says, you'll see a vision that will progress the quest line of the Devourer armor set. After that, kill everyone left in Fort Joy, Griffin's thugs, an Arena of the One, the Silent Monks, and the Undead Merchant across the bridge near the docks. Okay. Then he says, kill all the fire slugs in the caverns too. Go to the cave with elves and get the Phoenix Dive for Red Prince. I don't know how to get that. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Make sure you're as prepared before you get on the ship. Don't kill the guy hiding in the ship. He's useful. There's a hidden room under him. Then he says, once you get to the ship, you'll be able to store inventory directly on the ship. It's advisable to put most unusable and underlevel inventory into your wares so they can be sold. Your inventory will become very cluttered otherwise. Use the backpack for valuable things you want to keep. That I feel I should do. I should take a lot of items that I think I want to keep and put them in the backpack so that way they're not in my inventory and taking up all the spaces. So I'll probably do that for sure. And he says, lastly, you'll be able to use Magic Mirror to respec your party at any time for the rest of the game. Any experience and items you miss will be gone forever once you leave a chapter. So be very careful. Collect all the void-tainted fish in Chapter 2. Good luck. And then he gave me a final tip, and he said, this is in advance for completing Chapter 1. So, I don't know. Basically what I'm hearing is kill everything. I don't want to necessarily go back and kill everything. But if there's good stuff in the tower that I missed, maybe I should go through it. And I'm being told that the maze is where the skeleton on fire, infinitely on fire is. So maybe that's a side quest I can do. So if we want to do this, we could do it. That sounds, I guess, going through the maze and, saving the guy on fire and going into the tower and finding these 2 important things could be good. Outside of that, I really don't think I want to go back and kill every little fucking nitpicking enemy. The slugs we already talked to, and why you have to kill them? Oh, because you want experience. So, okay, just kill everything that we see, because it could possibly personally benefit us, right? I don't think I want to do that. Just being honest. I guess we'll see. I can't tell if my wife is arriving home or if a plane just passed over. I think that plane just passed over. Because my wife is going to be coming home within about half an hour. I think she works till 12 today. But sometimes she gets out early. But I don't think that was her. Anyway. So Jim Raynor, here's what I'll say. Thank you for the advice. I think we may take your advice and go back to the Brachus Rex Tower. Although it's going to be frustrating because I'm going to have to go through that maze. I got teleported through it the first time. This time around, it sounds like I'm going to have to go through it manually. No, I'm not saying Kat's going to parachute in. Okay, you guys have no idea. When Kat comes home from work, she opens the garage. The garage vibrates the house. So that's how I know she's coming home, because I can feel the house vibrating with the garage opening. But when a plane goes over, the same thing happens. It sounds almost identical. So sometimes I get confused if someone's going into my garage or if a plane's crashing, passing over. And in this case, it sounds like it was a plane passing over. There you go. Yes, I live right next to the airport, and when planes sometimes take off at the airport, my whole house vibrates. That's correct. Okay. All right, let's continue. So, Jim Raynor, thank you for the tips. We may go back and do the Brachus Rex Tower and maze, and that's about it. I don't think I'm doing the rest. They sound like, kill every person. Slaughter every human. Why? Why do I have to slaughter everyone? I don't want to do that. Actually, that's not how I want to play the game. He is recommending that I use a wand and shield build. Maybe that'll benefit, because honestly, the dual wands that I've been putting on Fane, I don't think it's working as well. I think he's too much. He's too squishy, as they say in RPGs. He's a squishy mage, and he takes so much damage. He's always the problem. So I may equip the shield. I think that may be the way to go. Okay. I don't know how to get Phoenix Dive. Last time around, people told me to go into the cave with those elves and talk to them and buy Phoenix Dive. I don't know where the fuck it is. And even in here with Jim Raynor's advice, he doesn't explain how to get it. I want this move. I don't know where it is. Last time around, I went in there and it wasn't there. So if anyone knows how to get Phoenix Dive, please let me know. I'd like to get it. I don't know how to get it. Okay? And thank you, Jim Raynor, for the tips. I appreciate that. And yeah, every once in a while, you want to come by, please, by all means do. I'm not saying you have to contribute. I'm just saying come by and check it out if you can. And thank you. He says in advance when I advance in chapters that he'll tip me. So thank you for that, Jim. You need to be level 9 to buy it from the merchant. There you go. I'm not level 9. So because I didn't kill every single fucking enemy in the game, I can't buy this spell. So what? It's stupid. I'll just be honest. I think a lot of the things in this game are pretty badly implemented. The fact that, number one, I already criticized this before, half the shit in the game isn't animated. That's stupid as hell. The combat is overly complex to the point where, you can't even sometimes click on what you want. I think that's frustrating. And I think this whole... you can't even buy this item from the vendor till you're a certain level. What the fuck? What? Can you make it any more unnecessarily complex? And by the way, I'm not saying that I dislike the game. I'm saying it's like they really went over outside of their own, they really went out of their way to make it complicated. You have to be an expert at this fucking game and know every little nuance of the game to actually have good progress and know what you're supposed to be doing. Why? Why is it like that? This is the opposite. Literally the opposite of a game that would be considered accessible. I don't think I've played a game before that's been this inaccessible. Maybe the original Dark Souls. Because if you hadn't played any other From Software game and Dark Souls 1 was your first one, holy fuck, that game beats your ass, right? But seriously, outside of that, I can't think of another game that's been as inaccessible. This game is just the only reason that I'm making progress is because you guys are helping me with it, and if you weren't, I feel like I would just be failing. The playthrough would be terrible. It's wow, good thing I'm an interactive live streamer. If I weren't, I don't know how I would make any progress in this fucking game. It drives me nuts that this is... And the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, it's one of the best games of the year when it came out and everything. I can see why you say that. I can see there's a lot to it. I mean, we're over 30 hours in. We haven't left the first part. Right? So I could totally see, I could totally understand where people are coming from in regards to that. But holy shit, man. At some point, the game needs to hit its stride. I would say combat-wise, the game has hit its stride. Because combat-wise, I've unlocked a bunch of abilities, better equipment, gear, and the combat is more streamlined. I can do better in the combat. But holy fuck, when it comes to like story advancement, when it comes to these nuances, oh, you can only buy an item once you're level 9. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm pretty sure the fucking vendor just wants to sell me whatever and make money. You ever go into a store and they said, I'd love to sell you the filet mignon, but I'm sorry, you're not level 10 yet. You can only get the sirloin. What the fuck are you talking about? No, they want my money. Like, what are you talking about? No, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Anyway, I digress. Thank you, Jim Rayner, for the advice. Likely we'll try to go back to the Brackus Tower today and do some of that. And outside of that, I am not going to sit around and kill every enemy. Okay? All right. Let's continue. So, Oro Turtle, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Oro Turtle, for the sub. Xander80, subscribe for 9 months. Thank you for 9 months of support, Xander. I appreciate that very much. Our first cheer of the day is from Timbo. Timbo Slice. Excuse me. I'm going to actively try to burp away from the mic now, since you guys have criticized me for 12 years about it. If I can control it and I feel a burp coming, I'm going to try to turn away from the mic. Okay? And that's what I just did. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay. Timbo Slice cheered, and he said, Sonic Colors Remaster has been leaked by VoiceOver Studio. Get hype? Oh, really? Sonic Colors is a very good game. I actually really enjoyed it back in the day on the Wii. That was one of the first Sonic games that I ever played for YouTube, and I thought it was a very good game. I mean, admittedly, it was a little bit on the easier side, but I thought it was fun, especially the way that the different color creatures, I forget what they're called, the way that they're implemented with their different abilities. That was a really fun game. So, good stuff. Fantasy Star PG did a 100-bit cheer. That's the biggest cheer of the day now, so let's go ahead and get that on the leaderboard. And he says, sad there may be no Days Gone 2. We had Ubisoft that had 2 of the biggest success comeback stories with games like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs that did way better with its sequels. I think Sony knows Microsoft isn't a threat to them because Microsoft shares its games and Game Pass with PC, has over 1 billion gamers, or by Wi-Fi on xCloud, that's near 1 million users, so there's no real threat of Xbox selling more than PlayStation. He cheered again. He said, playing games like Life is Strange and The Walking Dead story titles are great, but do you think the games would be better if they had photorealistic graphics like Detroit Become Human or the Dark Picture series? While Don't Nod style is okay, I really wish the Tall Tales Walking Dead games, I think it means Telltales, were photorealistic. Alright, first of all, we already talked about Days Gone 2. I don't think we even need to address that again. Alright, I don't know about the whole 1 billion users thing, whatever you're talking about. But it is sad that Days Gone 2 probably is completely out of contention of happening. What you got to remember about the Walking Dead Telltale series is that that's just a decade old. You know? When the Telltale games were first started to come out, they had only made a few other games. They had made Back to the Future, they had made Jurassic Park, and I can't remember if they had one other one. Well, for some reason, Sam and Max is jumping into my head, but I don't know if that was Telltale. I have no idea why that jumps into my head. But I know they had made 2 other major outings before with licensed properties, okay? So the engine that they used for The Walking Dead was the same engine with a few tweaks to kind of make it look like a comic book almost. What you got to remember is that The Walking Dead Telltale game is supposed to be based off the comic books. It's not supposed to be based off the television series. Now, of course, it took place during the height of the television series, and that's why it became so crazy popular, giant bestseller. Okay? But it's trying to look like the comic books. Okay? So, I liked the visual style of the original Walking Dead games. If you didn't notice, over the years, they actually did update the style a little bit. By the time that it finished, it was a completely different graphical engine on the last one there. Certainly, I think there's some people who might have liked it better if it was hyper-realistic, but because it was made for fans of the comic books, I think that it actually resonated and looked really good. So, that's my take. You could disagree, though. Fantasy Star PG cheers, congratulations on getting 100,000 followers with your birthday and anniversary. You had a good month. Here's the thing. I haven't really talked about this recently. I'll tell you guys why. If you notice, yeah, I do have 100,000 followers on Twitch, and basically it's bullshit. Because I was at around 98,000 followers, and it was growing at a steady pace. Basically, the way it works is every year I gain a few thousand followers. I think in the last year I had gained like 5,000, 6,000, something like that. Maybe 8,000. I don't know. I wasn't really following it actively. But I have steady growth here on my Twitch channel. And earlier this year, someone had mentioned, they said, Phil, it looks like this year you'll probably hit 100,000 followers. Will you do anything special? I said, well, you know, it's going to take a while. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. But when we get closer to it, maybe we'll talk about a celebration or whatever. And I want to say it was about a week ago. Someone had brought it up again. And it said, hey, Phil, you did get like a good growth this year. You got about 1,000 new followers so far. So you're on pace by the end of the year. Well, are you still planning on doing something as a celebration? And I said, well, here's the thing. We've got my birthday marathon coming up and all of that. Well, actually, I think this was right before I'd done a different marathon. I'm trying to remember. I think there were 2 events that just recently happened. And so basically I was like, there's multiple events coming up. Let's focus on those first. Let's get through those, and then maybe we can start planning for a 100,000 follower celebration. All right? I don't want to jump the gun because I don't want to start talking about a new celebration when we got 2 right around the corner, right? That would be kind of silly. Let's get through what's immediately in front of us, then we'll talk about the future. Okay? So I say that. Within 2 days, we've topped 100,000 followers. It's bullshit. And if you look at it, it's bots. Someone came in here with a fucking bot account and followed the channel to basically ruin it for us. Because I told you guys I wanted to do a celebration, but I didn't want to do it right away because it wouldn't make sense to do that. Someone came in here with bots and fucking did it to ruin it. So now we don't have a legit 100,000 followers, you know, a celebration. It's some asshole. You know, just like everything. Some asshole just wants to ruin everything as usual, ruin our fun. So it is what it is. Now, there's no point in me doing a celebration when I know it's fake anyway, you know? What I will say is this. I mean, 100,000 followers is obviously a great achievement. When I hit 100,000 subs on YouTube, that's years and years ago, that's when they sent me my YouTube play button. So obviously, it's meant to be a big milestone as a content creator. I appreciate everyone who legitimately follows and checks out my streams. Do I believe I legitimately have 100,000 followers when regularly I get about 300 to 400 viewers on a stream? No. I'd be incredibly stupid to believe that. The thing is, unlike YouTube, I don't think I've ever heard of Twitch ever doing an audit on accounts. So that means anyone who's ever followed me is still showing as being a follower. You know, they never audited anything. So I've never lost a single person who's clicked on follow on my Twitch channel. My Twitch channel's been open since 2013. So in 8 years, you know, that's a lot of people who will follow. And you see what I'm saying? So what I will say is this. Thank you guys. I appreciate your help. Your help. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your hanging out with me every day. 100,000 followers is a great achievement. It's a bummer that it's not real. But perhaps later this year we'll do some kind of special celebration. But for now, there's just no point in doing it. Okay? Okay. Ripley Atomic is here, and he gifted a Tier 3 subscription to Kagome 6900. Congratulations to Kagome 6900. Thank you, Ripley Atomic, for the gifted sub. Tier 3 is incredibly helpful. But B-Boy Cyclone resub for 49 months. He says, what's going on, Phil? Not sure if you've been asked, will you be playing Mass Effect Trilogy again? The answer is yes. I'm going to be playing Mass Effect 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. There you go. Hate Army General, even though there's no Hate Army. And at this point, by the way, guys, I'm just going to forewarn you. People are trying to turn it into a negative meme. I'm not going to have it. So if you start bringing up Hate Army shit, I'm just going to fucking ban you. I don't care. I've already said over the past 2 weeks, the Hate Army is nothing real. I've never wanted to call my followers the Hate Army. It's not funny because people are basically now trying to spin it into something to get me in trouble. And I'm not putting up with their shit. So if your name is Hate Army, change your fucking name right away before I ban you. So, Hate Army General, thanks for the 5-month resub. I did have a good anniversary day. Change your fucking name immediately because it's not funny. And if you can't change it, well, I guess you should have thought about it before you changed it to that to be stupid. Right? There you go. You want to run with the meme? Run with the frogs meme. That's a funny meme. Enough with the fucking, oh, let's try to get Phil in trouble by saying Hate Army shit and then, you know, have fucking SJWs cancel him. How about go fuck yourself? How about that? Okay, let's continue. Tarantula MS 2018 has resubbed for 3 years. Thank you, Tarantula, for 3 years of support, as much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Snow Carl cheered. Did you see? Says, did you hear about the Cash Me Outside kid making $5 million a day when she turned insane by making an OnlyFans? I don't give 2 fucks. Tarantula MS 2018 tipped me $5. Says, hey, you Phil, what's going on, Tarantula? Thank you for the resub, 3-year resub, and thank you for the first tip of the day, $5, much appreciated. Let's get that added to the running total. Good to see you. E-Web did a 1,000-bit cheer. Says, I've been a fan of yours since 2008, and I hope that all is well. Thank you, E-Web, for the first major cheer of the day here. That, of course, makes you the top cheerer. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Bovine has subscribed for 2 months. Thank you, Bovine, very much for a 2-month subscription. I appreciate that. Jay Hawkwood cheered us. If we hit 1,000 subs, can we do a reveal on people who tell you things behind the scenes all the time? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Mustard and Fries did a 100-bit cheer. He said, Phil, is watching adult videos the same as playing romance quests in games? No. Illmatic Rye cheers. Says, did you know people have written books about you? There's 4 volumes in paperback, hardback, and Kindle editions. I don't care. It sounds really stupid. Knows Nobody did a 100-bit cheers. Says, which Resident Evil game is your favorite? I'm stoked for Resident Evil 8. Well, I would say, if you're talking overall the entirety of the franchise from start to finish, Resident Evil 1, the original. That's the game that started the survival horror trend in gaming. It's the first horror-themed video game I ever played. It has, still to this day, I enjoy the cheesy jump scares, the voice acting. I mean, it's a game that aged poorly, obviously. The graphics are terrible per modern standards. But it's also a game that got remade multiple times. I would like to see it get remade in insanely modern graphics. Because remember, it got a remake. But now, imagine if they remade it in like the modern Resident Evil engine and shit. That would be crazy. I would like to see that. But yeah, I would say Resident Evil 1. Now, if you're talking modernized Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2 Remake. That game, is, in my opinion, is the epitome of survival horror right now. It's challenging. It's great graphics. It reimagines a lot of things about the original Resident Evil 2 for the better. It's got an insane amount of content. It's an insanely good game. So there you go. Workman Gaming subscribed to the channel for 8 months. Thank you for 8 months of support, Workman Gaming. Snow Carl Cheers says, you know, vaccinations are purposely being made hard to book, so only those who actually need it get it really early on. Otherwise, normal, healthy people would get it before risk groups. That's not the case. Here in Washington State, healthy people can't even get it unless they work like a healthcare worker's job. They're the only, basically it's been more elderly people, people with pre-existing conditions. Those are the people who've been eligible for the vaccine up to now. And I think they told grocery workers they could get it, and they can't. They've been trying to get it, and it's like backlog. And that's only like 20% of our state. So maybe in some states, what your conspiracy theory works, and not here in Washington. In Washington, they just don't have the logistics to do it. They can't even get the second doses out to the people who need it right now. Eternal Napalm cheered. He says, there's a relatively big gaming channel on YouTube. It's called DSPGaming. It's literally the name of your channel without the P. That's close to fraudulent. No, it's not. If it's a completely different kind of channel that doesn't have content like mine, then it's perfectly legal and fine. Only if they were impersonating me would it be an issue. So if they're impersonating me, that's different. But if they're not, it's no issue at all. Lil Funkter resubscribed for 6 months and says, thanks to Charlotte for a gift sub. Awesome. Thank you, Little Funkter, for resubscribing. I appreciate that. CM Fool to me $4.20. He says, Pop quiz, what's the story of Hunted the Demon's Forge? I don't know. Did I even play that game? That sounds familiar to me. But I don't remember in particular that game. It sounds like maybe I did play it a long time ago, but I don't remember it. Okay. Super Sly Gaming cheers says, I ate at a restaurant where they hand you a chocolate hat. By the time you put it on, it melts chocolate over your head. That sounds really stupid. Mustard and fries, cheers. How it, what? All right, here's someone who's trying to troll, so I'm just going to get rid of them. Get rid of that idiot. Eternal Napalm Cheers says, I have a steady middle-class income. I kid you not. They start taking about a third of my income now for taxes, and they take more whenever I buy something. Then they take more each month for the property I own. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Property taxes, income taxes. And then, by the way, there's certain things you may not even be aware of, like gasoline, liquor. There's extra taxes on top of that you pay as well. There's a lot of taxes if you live in the United States. A ton. I don't want to really get to a political rant, but I just say it's kind of weird how all of our tax laws seem to benefit rich people, because rich people always find a way to write off most of their taxes, while the normal people like you and me seem to be paying more. I'm just saying. Isn't that funny how that works? Eternal Napalm Cheers says, I'm still not sure why Sony hasn't shelled out the money for a sequel to Bloodborne. It sold incredibly well. From Software said the ball's in Sony's court. It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're just saving it for something special, or, you know, I have no clue. It's a perfectly valid question. I agree with you that a Bloodborne sequel is massively desired by the common gamer. Mr. Jackson 2002 has tipped me $5. He says, I see what you mean about Red Lobster. I ordered fried whitefish. It was nasty. It obviously was frozen and thawed well enough. It almost made me vomit. I'm glad I had aloe vera juice to settle me down. I'm telling you, Red Lobster is not a high-end fucking seafood restaurant you want to be eating at. Seriously. The best time to go to Red Lobster is when they're doing one of their fests, like Shrimp Fest, Lobster Fest. Understand you're going to be eating low-grade shellfish, but you'll be able to eat a lot of it for a decent price. But, of course, the best place to go for shellfish is a buffet. A buffet that has shellfish, you're going to eat more for your bang for your buck. So, Jay Hawkwood Cheers says, you're getting a lot of advice from Divinity players who don't care about the story and just want to max out levels. Don't kill everything or even care about getting all the loot. The best way to play is natural and enjoying the story. Then he cheered again. He said, I think the game's not for you, to be honest. All your criticisms are normal for RPGs. Except that I play a ton of RPGs, and it's not valid criticism of those. Divinity is the best RPG of this style out there, besides Baldur's Gate 3, more than likely. Your criticisms are for the genre, which is fine. Correct. There you go. Truff Burnell cheers. Says, can I stop? If I'm going to stop burping into the mic, can I stop snorting into the mic? I could try. Here's the thing. All right. Burping, I can only control if I feel the burp coming. A lot of the times I don't. A lot of the times I'm surprised by a burp. And I'm like, shit, what was I supposed to do there? I'm sorry. If I can feel it coming, then I'll turn away from the mic if I can. Okay? The snorting, I mean, yeah, if it's really bothering people, I guess I can turn away. Again, it's just as annoying for me as it is for you. I don't want to have to do it. It's my fucking allergies. It's my post-nasal drip. It's incredibly frustrating. So, if you guys keep giving me a hard time about it, I will try to improve. Fair enough? CM Fool tipped me $4.20. Says, when I go to the grocery store, if my reputation is not at level 60 or higher, I have to pay 20% more. Yeah, when you go to the grocery store, do you have to barter with the cashier? Usually what I have to do is I have to start, like, handing them things off my buy. I hand them my coat. I hand them one of my sneakers, and, you know. And then all of a sudden, the prices get better. Anyway, thank you for the tip. Eternal Napalm cheered. He says, 9S was cheerful, happy, and positive at the beginning of Nier Automata. By the end, he was broken, furious, and without hope. You think the drastic evolution was justified on his part? I thought it was well done. I really liked playing the run-throughs of Nier Automata. I did. I'm glad that you guys stuck it to me. And over the years that I had only done the first run, every year you're like, Phil, you got to go back. Phil, you got to go back. Phil, you got to go back. And then I finally did, and I was like, holy shit, that was rewarding. I'm glad I did. It's a hell of a journey to get to that true ending, but man, the true ending is fun. Zebra resubscribed for 52 months. Thank you for 52 months of support, Zebra. He says, don't worry about still being in Fort Joy. It's not like Act 2 is double the size of the first one or anything. CM Fool to me $1.30. He said, how about the quiet man for your army? Oh my god. I don't know how the quiet man meme is still alive after I played the game, but apparently it is. Timbo Slice Judy says, we got an email at work. Our company is going to have company workers come to the corporate office to get vaccinated, but I already got mine second dose set up already, so we won't need it. Well, Timbo, all I'm going to say is this. Congratulations, and be happy that you're one of the people that got it, because it looks like I'm probably not getting it for the longest time at this rate. Grand Apple Slush Cheer says, what is the worst game you've played throughout your time on YouTube and Twitch? I can't answer that. I would have to sit down and analyze shit. Darkside Adam tipped me $4.20. It's happy belated birthday. Thanks for your great content. You're welcome, Darkside Adam, and thank you for your support here. I appreciate that very much. Timbo Slice Cheery said, what makes you think seafood at a buffet is not the same frozen garbage sent to Red Lobster? It depends. If you go to like a crappy buffet, it will be. But if you actually go to a good buffet, like I told you, the buffet I went to yesterday, my God, that was good. There was fresh crab legs sitting there, and then there was fucking, the bake was good. Like, they had so much good stuff. And it didn't taste frozen. It was good shit. But you got to go to the good one. That's what I mean. Like, that buffet is something I'll go to, like, once every few years, because it's a pricey buffet. I'm not going to do that regularly, but for a celebration or something, I'll do it. You see? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen. What is this prediction that's stuck at the top of the screen? It's stuck. Get out of here. I can't see the leaderboards because there's a prediction stuck at the top of my screen. It won't go away. All right, finally went. I don't know. It was weird. It was like glitched. It just went away. Okay. Fruits07 just changed it. Does the new PS5 controller vibration feel different than PS4? Yes. Haptic feedback is dramatically different. Dramatically different. I can't wait to play another game where it's implemented well as well, by the way. Okay. Shout out to the following people. Now, the week is young. Today is Monday, which means it's the first day of the streaming week on Twitch. But people have already contributed. So here's the top 10 cheers of the week. We got a triple tie between Truff Burnell, Super Sly Gaming, and Illmatic Rye for 8th. Snow Carl and Knows Nobody are tied for 6th. Timbo Slice and Jay Hawkwood are tied for 4th. Eternal Napalm's in 3rd. Fantasy Stars in 2nd. And E-Web is in 1st place. Thank you, guys. As for gifted subs, Ripley Atomic has gifted a sub to the channel so far this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a break. I got to use the restroom. When I come back, the continuation of Divinity 2. I hope that you all will join me for the fun. I probably will do a little bit of backtracking. Maybe go back to that Brachus Rex Tower, but outside of that, we're going to move on to a new place by the end of today's stream. Thank you, and I will see you in a few minutes.